Oh, Mark Montoya, his nickname is General, the OG. That's the big boss. That's our Dana White in here.
Yeah, that's good.
We don't mess with him in here. You know when Dana White said don't mess with my employees and stuff? That's him right there. I broke my hand one time just trying to defend him, and he was ready to fight too. I was like, nah, why do you need to fight? You're good.
Guys, my name's Elliot Marshall, and we are at one of the Easton facilities here down in Denver, the first mothership of the Big Easton fleet.
Easton is one of the bigger gyms here and is one of the best places for Team Elevation to train. I traveled all over the country, training at different gyms, and as soon as I came in Colorado, there's so many opportunities to train out here with, Team Elevation, Factory X, Genesis, so many people out here to train with. It's kind of a hidden little gem as far as MMA fighters or even martial artists go. Plus, we're sitting at high altitude. Denver's such an athletic city.
Elevation Fight Team got started when Leister Bowling, Christian Allen, and we needed a place to train fighters a little more skillfully. We decided to start this Elevation Fight Team, and that was back in 2011. Yeah, now it's morphed into what it is today. We have a plethora of amazing athletes that we all get to work with.
We currently have Usman training out here in Colorado, and so I think people need to understand that this is a huge spot to train at. The theme of Team Elevation is we do everything we can for the fighter. We're kind of a nomadic or traveling team. And so we bounce our skills off one another in our team practices, and then our roster then goes and works skills in other gyms, in various gyms. And Team Elevation just takes advantage of so many gyms here in Colorado.
My name is Cody Donovan. I'm a former UFC fighter and the owner of High Altitude Martial Arts, and I am a ground systems coach for the Elevation Fight Team. High Altitude has been around for a long time. The gym is the Aurora location for Easton Training Centers. We're a very proud affiliate of Easton's and of the Henzo brand. I've been training jiu-jitsu with Easton's for as long as I can remember. I'm a black belt with this organization. We have a lot of talented guys here. Our thing is preparing people for mixed martial arts, and we have a long history of doing that, right? Back in the day, this was a place where George St. Pierre and Rashad Evans, Shane Carwin trained in this room. So, the early seed of martial arts that was planted in Denver way back then continued to grow and never stopped growing.
We're at Vital Strength and Fitness. This is my hub. This is where I do all my work out of. A lot of one-on-one striking gets done here, one-on-one game planning, one-on-one strategy. It's been a ride. I've been a part of Team Elevation for 12 years when it wasn't even Team Elevation yet. So today I was working with Curtis, so we're going over fight-specific strategy. We're just going a little bit of fine-tuning for Derek Lewis specifically. We have a pretty special relationship, him and I. It transcends fighting, and because of that, I think we get the most out of Curtis Blades right now. To be able to give back to some of these young guys for the last decade plus is a dream come true, really. We do it for the right reasons, and I think it's showing right now. A lot of lineages started right here in this town, Dwayne Ludwig, Trevor Whitman, some of the greatest of the great, Nate Marquardt. I've just been blessed to learn underneath them, and Denver in general has got some of the best teams and some of the best coaches around. Mark Montoya, Jake Ramos, those guys are great. We got great teams over there. I mean, you pick and choose anywhere around here, and you're going to get some good coaching and some good guidance.
We're here at Genesis Training Academy, getting Gerald Scott here ready for his LFA fight coming up. Doing what we do all day, working out the fighters.
I was born and raised in Denver, Colorado. When I was 11 years old, I first saw the Ultimate Fighting Championship on TV. And I was just hooked when I saw that. And I just decided right then when I was 11 years old that I was gonna do this when I got older. So it was pretty hard because, my mother didn't have the money to put me into MMA. When I got older and I got a job, I was able to, pay for the membership, and I just took off from there.
Well, Genesis kind of came about when, there was a gym back in the day called Grudge, and I was one of the head trainers there as well. Something happened within the business, and it just wasn't able to stay open anymore, and Genesis kind of developed from there.
Well, I'm over at Genesis now because, I kind of just wanted a family atmosphere, so, They've looked out for me on so many different occasions, and they've helped me so much inside and outside of the gym.
Well, we got all kinds of pros in here, all the way from Bellator to PFL to LFA to UFC. We got Brandon Gertz, who is Bellator fighter as well. We got Grant Neal, who's a Bellator fighter. We got Chris Camozzi in here as well, another 205er that's in the PFL tournament coming up in April. Anybody who's anybody, and the who's who of every fighter out there has definitely come to Denver at one point or another during their camp to come out here and get that altitude training. So when it comes to MMA, Denver's the place to be.
In 2008, we started Factory X. We've been around for over a decade. I think the biggest reason why people come to Factory X is because of the culture. A good leader is not someone just sitting on the sidelines blowing a whistle and telling you what to do. Doing my job, though, and doing it the right way is to create leaders. That philosophy, that culture, that mindset is essentially my job.
The camaraderie here at Factory X is second to none, man. I mean, it's something that Coach has built, and it's the culture. Culture starts at the top, but it grows from the bottom. So you got a bunch of guys like myself and guys that have been around here for a while that are more leaders, and you know, we have to carry on the things that Coach says. It goes to us, and then once we get some of the amateur guys that haven't been here that long, once they get them bought in and them sold by watching us doing what we do, then the culture really grows, man. It grows from the bottom up.
We've got the best culture in the world, and because of that, we house some of the best fighters you've ever seen in the world. You know, we're sitting with 18 UFC fighters that we train, and if you're at the UFC level and you're fighting there more than a couple fights, you are the best in the world.
You know, since I came out here, it felt good to go against people who weren't scared of me. You know, people that I could hit, you know, they want to get back at me. You know, it's a back and forth, and we grow together. And that altitude training, it makes a huge, huge difference when you come out here. So now I can sprint, I can run for miles, I can spar for days. So obviously, it's a good fit.
You know, it's such a pleasure and a privilege to get to train those kind of guys, and it's always been important to me to have my faith intact. I believe God put me in this position to lead young men and women. Because of that, it's helped me grow as an individual, but it's also helped me grow as a leader. And when I grow as a leader, then my other leaders behind me are growing. Questions? All right, let's go. Ready? Denver's always been a fighter-rich environment. It's in the water, or it's in the blood here. And I think if you ask anybody, if they're being honest, competition is great. Competition is what makes us grow. Competition is how we become better. The competition here is at that next level. You have major gyms here doing big things, and because of that, the competition has made us one of the best gyms in the world.
1, 2, 3, 4.